So I live in a town called Shoreham. It's about 7 to 10 miles away from Brighton. It's absolutely stunning. I live overlooking the river, and then what you can see there is the spit of land that where there's houses built. It's called Shoreham Beach, and then on the other side of that is the sea. But as you can see, we've got enormously big skies, and I'm showing you this because I wanted to show you the orientation from my balcony, which is outside my living room window. And you can see that there's some amazing sunsets, and then over down towards the right is a fairly main road, but as you'll see, we don't hear the traffic from it at all. We get some incredible fogs, and we had an amazing experience last December. Now you can hear the traffic noise. Pay attention to the traffic noise. The red dot is not what I saw. That's a dot on a crane, a light on a crane. But this was December when we had that incredible ring around the full moon. Do you remember that? They said it was ice crystals in the atmosphere, but they'd been doing some very heavy spraying that week. So I'm a bit concerned that the rings, see the ring around the moon and then the ring around horizontal around the moon? It was just incredible. Amazing sight. And I managed to get not just a video of it. Ignore the blue dot. I think that's coming from my camera. But this was the actual photograph I got of it, with the houses down below all lit up and reflected in the river. And then this incredibly sharp ring around it. We've got Shoreham Airport just to the right of us. So to the right, we've got a bridge going across the river, and it's a fairly busy main road in the daytime, but not too bad at night. And then on the other side of that is Shoreham Airport, also known as Brighton City Airport. And quiet in the mornings, but then we get lots of light aeroplanes coming into land in the afternoons. We get quite a few helicopters. And on the night I'm talking about, which was about 5:30 in the evening on a Friday night, I remember it specifically, it was there was quite a lot of helicopter action because there were two people gone missing. And one of them had gone in the river further up at Stenning and they thought was coming down the river, and they wanted to try and find the person, obviously, because they could have gone past my flat out to sea. And the other one had gone in the sea at Shoreham Harbour. So there were, throughout the afternoon, there was quite a lot of helicopter action. It was just starting to get dark. So let's just let you know what the noise is like when you've got a light aeroplane. Sorry about the wing noise here. See the little light aeroplane there? Just up there. Middle of the screen, about a third of the way down. And then this is the sound of a helicopter. I recorded this the other day. There was something happening on the Brighton Shoreham wreck over by the beach, just in the middle of where you're looking there. And that's how helicopters sound. If they go right over the flat, they are really bloody loud. So there was a few arrows around in the afternoon. Now, this is the view from my other side of my flat when I go to open my front door and collect parcels, for example. And this is the view at night. I took a picture the other night of this so you could get a feel for what it looks like. There's a little road, little high street there, but it's not too busy. Friday night, there's traffic going past, but it's not too bad. So on this particular occasion, what happened was I got a buzz from the Amazon guy, and I went out and I opened my door and I was just sort of letting him do his thing. They take the photograph of the parcel in the front door on your floor on the 5th of January. And what happened then was I got a sense that there was something above me, and I looked up fully expecting to see a helicopter, even though I couldn't hear any noise. There was no noise. I was happily chatting to the Amazon guy, no noise at all, but I got a sense there was something above me. So I looked up, and this is what I saw. And this is my impression of it, okay? This isn't a picture. I don't want to pass it off as a picture. It's not. That's what I saw. I can't swear that both the lights were green. I seem to have an impression that one of them was orange, but I definitely saw a red light and a white light in the middle and a massive black shape. And it was that big or a little bit bigger. And the funny thing was, I didn't feel any surprise. I really didn't feel shocked. I didn't feel any surprise. I just thought, oh, that's one of those triangular aircraft. And because you know I'm a big fan of things like Casper Site and Barry and all the, you know, Slaptam and all that. So I know what one of these triangular aircraft looks like, and I wasn't surprised. And what I thought was, I suppose, in the back of my head was perhaps they brought one of these out to help with the search, to try and find those two people that have gone in the water. So that's I didn't feel it, and then I suddenly thought, oh my God, I'd better get a picture of this or nobody will believe me. And so then I tried to get rid of the Amazon guy, and I ran through the flat and I grabbed my phone and I went out the back to try and get some sort of video of it. So my hands were sort of shaking by this time with excitement. So this is what I got. And I couldn't see it at first. I thought I'd missed it. I thought it had gone off to the airport, which is off to the right out of sight there. But then I suddenly realised there it is. So that's straight out from my flat. That's over the beach, sort of over the other side of the river. Phones are so annoying, aren't they? They make everything so far away. But I just wanted to remind you what a helicopter sounds like. And that's the helicopter that was over the other side of the river the other day. Exactly where that thing flying is. So I just wanted to remind you of that, so that we can then come back and I'll zoom in on the other thing. There it is, zoomed in. Now, I wouldn't have paid any attention to this. I would have thought it was a helicopter, but you can hear the cars. Can you hear the cars going over the bridge there? This thing made not a sound. Not a sound. Now it's going towards the roundabout, and it hovered over the roundabout for a while, so I don't know if any cars saw it. And you can see the lights underneath it still. I honestly would have thought it was a helicopter if it wasn't for the fact it was completely silent. And that's it going over towards the airport now. So all I can assume is it went and landed there. No domestic flights coming in at that time of night, by the way. Unbelievable. Absolutely silent. All you can hear is the cars. So I hope you're not disappointed, because it's not brilliant footage, I'm aware of that, but to make up for it, I'm going to play the video footage that I got from the internet of the only other UFO, unidentified flying object, whatever they want to call it now. And there was one over Brighton a few years ago, and there's some good witness testimonial from some, quote, credible witnesses, unquote. I'll leave you with that, and I hope you enjoy it.
Brighton. A strange light is encountered by a police helicopter crew. Could it be a UFO?
My name's John Tickner. I was a policeman until just a few weeks ago, when I retired from Sussex Police, where I've been for 30 years. The last 12 years of my service was on the air support unit, working on the police and ambulance helicopter. As far as I remember, it was a normal day. It was a night shift that we do. We'd work through until 2 o'clock in the morning, and we just had a normal shift. It was a fairly clear night, a still night, quite a pleasant, typical August summer evening.
We were then heading back towards Shoreham, which is about 12 miles away.
It's normal practice for us just to, instead of just going from one place to another and focusing on the home part, because we're an emergency service, we'll listen into the police radios in the towns as we pass them and just generally look about. And what I was doing that night was I was operating the thermal image camera and just looking around, casting around the Brighton area that we're passing over, and we were listening to the Brighton radios just to see if anything that was going to happen that we were ready for and briefed about, so that we knew what was going on.
John's crew were nearing the end of their working day on a routine call-out. Brighton's revellers below them parted into the night, unaware of the mysterious drama unfolding in the skies.
The first thing that happened was, in fact, Sean, the paramedic, he was sat in the right-hand rear seat, looking out the window, and he was the first one to see just a light.
As soon as I saw it, I notified the pilot so that he was aware of it, so he could see it in case we needed to get out of the way, and also if he could talk to the pilot and see why they were in our area and why they were flying so low. We then flew round and tried to identify it as soon as we could.
But the helicopter pilot was unable to open communications with the other vehicle. Concern grew for whether the object was a danger or not.
So I looked out of the window initially and saw the light just so I could work out where to take the camera, and then brought the camera around onto it to see what the thermal image picture would give me.
It didn't have the normal, you know, the tail lights and the flashing lights that you would sort of normally see on an aircraft. So we didn't actually know what it was.
With the camera trained on the object, the mystery would surely be solved.
What I was expecting to see was the shape of an aircraft, because that's what we normally see. If we can't work out what the lights are or where they are or where they're going, then put it on the thermal image camera and you get a lovely silhouette of the aircraft or the helicopter, and you can actually work out what it is usually. The shape was something that I just wanted to try and work out what it was. Working most of the time with the thermal image camera, you like to think you get quite good. I mean, I can't tell you whether it's a Boeing 737 or an Airbus or something, but you can see very clearly, you know, two engines and an aircraft. You can see the military helicopters that are sometimes around at low level. That's the only other thing that was going through my mind, that it might have been. But you can see the shape of the helicopter, the rotors going around, the heat from the jet exhaust, all the things you could see. What I could see here was just one single light in a daylight camera and this cylinder shape in the night camera. And it's trying to put those two together just to make some logical sense of what we were seeing.
We talk about credible witnesses, and you know, one of those that you put in that category is a police officer. Not only a police officer, but in a helicopter at the time with some very good quality photographic equipment, films an anomalous object at night, both with night vision and ordinary. So that's why, you know, people become interested in it, because police officers, you know, respected members of the community, not likely to make up stories.
The close encounter between the helicopter crew and the strange craft lasted about 4 minutes, but they were still unable to solve the riddle of Brighton's alien visitor.
If you see the video, you will see exactly what we saw, no more and no less. And you can make up your own mind. In my mind, it's fairly clear. I believe it's a hot air balloon or a lantern, something of that description. Who's to say whether I'm right or wrong? I've made up my mind, that's what it is. But I mean, you look at the video, you make up your own mind.